This is a rent-to-own home for $700 a month. The address is 2829 Tinsley Road, area code 32218. It's a brand new home, never been lived in, so you'll be the first person living here. It is a rent-to-own home. We're only asking $700 a month because we're looking for people that definitely want to own it. What makes it special isn't all the new stuff or the fact that it's never been lived in as much as we work with people with bad credit. As long as you have a job and you make money and you can afford it, you can own a home. And we're willing to help people that maybe you've been turned down, or maybe you just don't really know what the next step is to own a home. That's not a big deal. We don't care what credit looks like as much as we're looking for motivated people who understand that, if you can own this house for, an interest rate under 4% and pay less to own something than most people are paying to rent, if that's something that's extremely exciting to you, that's what matters more to me than a perfect credit report. However, you do have to have employment and what we call strong employment. Strong employment can be one of several things. Either you've been at the same job for multiple years, or more importantly, what people don't realize today is what the IRS says you make, that's what you make. So whatever your tax returns state, every lender that we work with pulls a copy of your tax returns from the IRS. So whatever your bottom line is there, that's what they say you make. We don't care if there's some write-offs or something like that, but that's how they base you make enough money to own this home. The good thing is that owning homes are cheap. This home 5-6 years ago would cost you double. The price would be double and the interest rate would be much higher, and that would make this a $13, $14, $15 payment. So if you're somebody that's excited about owning a house instead of just throwing your money away on rent, and you have a job and make money, fill out the form below. I tell people, as long as you have a job and make money, on some time scale, you can own a home. There's no blacklist of people that can never own a home. So I'm not worried about the credit. If you guys are serious about buying a home, fill out the form below, and I'll tell you exactly what it's going to take for you to own this home. And if you don't have a burning desire to own a home right now, I really suggest people come to this government website and click on the renting versus buying calculator. And I know everybody knows that renting is not as good as idea as owning, but really I don't think people understand how much money they're throwing away, because renting really is it's a sucker bet. I mean, you just cannot get ahead renting. In Vegas they have certain bets where they're called, I guess, sucker bets, and to me, renting is one of those things. You're just never going to get ahead renting, and this really helps drive it home. It helps you compare just saying pay a $900 a month rental rate versus buying a $120,000 house today. And because what you're doing when you're buying a home is it's not like you're turning your rent payment into an investment. And your net worth over 30 years, you're looking at a $400,000 different bet off to the good from owning rather than renting. So it's not like you just because right now a lot of people, they're paying $1,200 a month, they can own the same house for $800 a month. It's not just the $400 you're saving. It's it's what you build up over time by paying your own mortgage and not your landlord's mortgage. So if this doesn't give people a real fuel to let's figure out what it's going to take to own a home, as long as you have a job and you make money, remember, you can own a home. And it's not always years. There isn't a blacklist of people. Most people can own a home in 6 months if they have steady employment, we find. So fill out the form below and we can tell you. The other thing is, I don't think people realize Jacksonville, Florida is where investors are coming from all over the country to invest. I like to make people watch this just so they understand, this is one of the rare places where, I shouldn't say rare, but one of the places where really these investors can buy a house for, they're paying $600 a month, they're renting out for $1,100 a month. So, for our own people in our own city not to be taking advantage of it, it's just sickening when they have jobs, they have money, they just don't really know the first step. Just listen to this for 2 seconds.
Well, Florida, if we could look at a chart for...
Because Florida's one of the worst hit places.
Well, that's it. Exactly.
So
the bubble's been erased. That's the idea. The bubble's been erased. In Florida, almost across the state, they're back to 2001 prices. So if we have a chart here for Jacksonville.
So it's really, the numbers make this a good deal. It's not necessarily just the this house or that house. It's just the time that we find ourselves in. So if you're somebody who wants to take advantage of that, doesn't know the first step, you have a job, you can afford it, I promise you, fill out the form below. We can tell you exactly what it's going to take for you to own a home, and stop placing that sucker bet on the first of the month every month.